Hello everybody and welcome back to Vintage Thursday. So today, as you can see behind, we are back once again with the 550. I kind of hope you're not getting fed up with this because everything we seem to do recently is on this tractor, but we have two jobs left to go. One of which is going to be done today is we are going to be changing the seal on the PTO shaft because we said in the previous video it's just weeping a little bit. At the same time as changing that seal, we are going to change the hydraulic filter, which is up in underneath the transmission, just in front of the pickup hitch. And coming up in the future, the second or the final job, hopefully for this, the engine swap. Everything is now in place. We've sourced an engine. It's here. It's just a bit of work to get it ready to go in. And then obviously this engine's got to come out and do the swap. So that will be coming up in the future, but it's going to happen. Definitely going to happen now. Anyway, so today, doing the PTO seal, so you will see I have done a lot of work in preparation for this, just to make the video a bit shorter really. So the oil is drained. You can see I've had to take off the top link connection, drop the hitch down, took the drawbar out of the way, just to make things a bit easier, and really just to save time on the video. Okay, so hopefully we've got enough daylight now. I have got a few lights on just because it's a bit dark in here, but what we've got to do basically, so the top link connection and runs between the two, so this is taken off. Now I've got to undo the 4 bolts. Bottom 2 are undone already because that is where the pickup hitch anti-jump plate goes on there, so that's all off. And then we will take off this surround that the check chain's also fixed to, and then in behind there is another plate. So then the whole shaft and the seal carrier will come out, and hopefully it's a fairly easy job. So first job, like I say, we'll just whip these nuts off, pull the plate off. Okay, so there's our plate off. So now we have little thin plate with, so you can see that's got flat edges into it, which are catching the seal housing here. And now it should pull out. There we go. There we go. Bearing all on there. Okay, so here we are. We've got the bearing in the back. That's nice, good condition. Well, you probably can't tell on the camera, but it's turning nice and freely. And then just this bit on the front is what we need. So we've got a new O-ring which seals around here, and then in here this is our leaking oil seal. So we'll just check the seal face. So this here is where the oil seal seals against. It's nice and smooth. It's not ridged up. Sometimes you can get a little kind of a groove worn into this, which is what causes it to leak, but you can probably see a line, but you can't feel it, so that'll be fine. I'll just shine a bit of light up in there and have a look while we're here. Not a great deal to see, but what bit we can see looks okay. Okay, so here is our seal housing, just been cleaned up, and new seal, and the O-ring for going around the outside. So what we'll do, we'll just knock this old seal out, down through that way, put the new one in. there we have our old seal. What we've got left in there is like a tin plate. It's got to go back in. Lots of straw stuck behind it. We better go back to the parts washer, get that cleaned out. Might take it right out actually and start again. You can see he's been tapped out before. He's got a bit of a bevel on it, so I'll clean that up. Right, so nice and clean now. Just giving a wipe off. Got our nice tidy bench. Right, our little tin plate thingy. Right, that's got that seated back. New seal, make sure he goes the right way. At the side with the spring, always faces the oil, which is there. Press it gently with the vise, hopefully. Okay, so that's as far as the vise will press it. He's flush now, but we need to go a bit more. So we'll use the old seal as a spacer. Press it the rest of the way. And get that new seal pressed in, nice and square, with the old plate there. So next job, just pick this seal, pick the O-ring off. Just put a little bit of oil in the groove just to help him slip on easy. There he is. So we'll just wipe off any dirt and then we'll oil it just before we stick it in, because it would need a bit of lubrication on the seal and on the O-ring just before it goes back together. So that is that little bit complete. Okay, so first job we will there we go. Just wipe the surface. Oil on where the seal is going to run. And a little bit in the seal. And the O-ring. And then hopefully it should all there we go, look at that. Gentle. Put our plate on. Let's put that plate. Now we're gonna, that O-ring hasn't quite gone in, so we'll pull him in with the nuts gently. Just leave that up. Gently, put in level. There he is, nice and flush in there. Perfect. Now we can put this back on. So there we go, that is the little, all completed the back end. I've just got to put it back together, but we'll do that, you know, when you lot aren't watching, because it's boring. Okay, so as you can tell, we are now upside down underneath. So this here is the filter housing, or filter cover. So this all got to come off. There's a plate on the side here, and there's a little tiny pipe somewhere, I can't find it now. And this just protects it, so we've got to undo all that. Okay, so there's that little pipe off. Now we can just undo the 3 bolts. Right, just get an oil bucket underneath. There she blows. You oil everywhere now. Okay, so here is our filter and kind of the holder stroke plate stroke thing that was upside down. The filters actually looks really clean, which is a bit disappointing, because I was getting occasionally the oil pressure light coming on when we switched to high multi-power. So I was hoping for finding a block filter, but all we can do is change it and hope for the best. So we have got a new gasket because it was weeping a bit around here. So what we'll do, we'll go and clean it all up, put a new filter, a new gasket, a little bit of gasket sealer around there just to try and avoid any leaks, and then we'll be good to put some fresh oil in. Right, so here we are, all cleaned up. Got our housing, all our bolts are clean, got our little plate. We've got new spring washers on the filter bolts. Got our new filter and our gasket. So what we will do, while we're up here, we will put a bit of sealer around, put the gasket on, and then another smear of sealer around the top of the gasket. And when we get underneath, we'll degrease the mating surface. Hopefully it should all just go on nice and easy. We will see. So I don't actually know what this fitting with a little tiny pipe on that we took off does. There is a hole through the casting here and here, you might see, but it's actually blanked off in there, so it doesn't matter that we're going to cover it up with the silicone and the gasket. So if anybody knows what that does, leave us a comment. Whether it's something to do with the multi-power, I'm not sure, so I don't actually know what it does. Line up the holes. Just a little bit more around the top. It's just much easier to do this up here when we're stood up the right way than when we get underneath all upside down. Okay, here goes. You got oil again. It's dripping just a little bit. Watch the leak. Right, that should be everything finished underneath, which is good because everything upside down is always hard work. Right, so oil back in next. So oil fills through here, same as a T20, 35 or anything like that. Goes in through that little plug. Doesn't give you a great deal of room in there. Trusty Ferguson spanner. Ooh. Get the dirt out. Got all this soundproof material, bunging it up. There we go. So this cab floor was clean when I got the tractor. You can see we've been using it. It's all dirty. Anyway, right. Funnel goes in. And the first of many jugfuls goes in. So I'm sure you don't want to watch me pour in, I think it's about 27 litres for a funnel. So we'll come back when we're finished. Right, so the final jug going in for now. What we'll do, just pour this one in, then we'll connect everything back up at the back. We'll put all the picker pitch back together, put the check chains back on, and then that will give this time to settle, find its level. We'll check the dipstick, and if necessary, we'll top up it just a little bit more. Right, so there we are. All the back end is now back together. It's had a little bit more than 10 minutes to settle out now because I've milked the cows in between. So it's looking good. Our seal is still dry, although you know it's not turned yet. So the dipstick on these is exactly the same place as a 135, which is down in there, but there's a whole lot more getting in the way than what you get on a 135. So I think the easiest way to dip it is probably come up in front of the axle, or yeah, in front of the axle. Yeah, it's not easy either way, so I think we might leave the camera here while I get under there with the torch probably. Right, well I've made it. Been in and out. It is just a teeny bit below maximum. I think we'll put a drop more in just to top it up while we're on. So it doesn't need a lot. This is less than half a jug full. That should be plenty to get us up to maximum. So now all we've got to do is fight this bung back down through the soundproofing. Got to make sure it goes in square too. This is a bit of a... Oh, no. I think I might get a socket. The spanner's making hard work. Well, this is proving to be the hardest part of the whole job, getting the bung back in. he's going now. We're away. Oh, there's the lid gone. Right, there we go. All we've got to do now, battery back on, go for a start. So there we go, we are totally finished, except for we've left the gasket wrapper on there. Battery back on, hope it's held its charge. Let's give it a start up, see if the PTO runs, make sure the linkage works. I can't run it out tonight because there's something blocking the doorway. So I can't get it out and it's dark anyway, so maybe I'll give it a little run before we edit the video, just so we can see, make sure the multi-power, you know, the pressure light doesn't come on when we go to high multi-power. It all depends on time. So anyway, let's get started up and make sure stuff works. Well, there we go, folks. We are fully functional. PTO starts. Doesn't appear to leak at the minute, but we've already tested it. It's only I'll take over. It did take a long time to stop once we put it out of gear, but that's kind of normal for these zip toe units. There is a brake on the actual clutch, but it wears out. Doesn't never work very well. This is no different. Anyway, so yeah, PTO works. Linkage goes up and down. Underneath the filter is dry, and we are at the correct oil level. So I will say thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this Vintage Thursday, and we will see you next time.